Hey everyone, it's Tonka Joey, and on my last video I asked what do you guys want to see next, and it seemed like a lot of people are saying more Tumblr writing stuff, other people were saying more AO3 tags, and I was wondering if there was some way I could kind of combine them, and I thought, well, on Tumblr all the time I see people posting authors' notes that they've seen on AO3. You can leave a little note to your audience, say whatever you need to say, that's extra. And sometimes these fanfiction authors leave some interesting comments about their writing process and all the chaos that ensues. So even if you aren't into fanfiction, but you like writing or you just like funny stuff, this might be interesting to you. You know, it's just me writing stuff that happens to be from AO3. So let's go scroll through this tag for a bit and I'll read some and react to them in real time. So this will be interesting. Let's go. I am the author and have decided to play God. Well, that just sounds like the #1 rule of writing. If you're writing, then you are God. You get to control literally everything. Yeah, that's the tag on the post. Isn't this why all authors write? Gently lifts cannon like a baby, gives it a gentle kiss on the head, and throws it into the sun. See, I'm a fan of writing. You know, they call it like fix-its, and you're like, well, this thing that happened in canon is just like so sad or horrible that I have to completely not completely rewrite it, but you know, I gotta yeet canon out of the way so we can make things happy. Look, y'all, this is gonna be one of those fics where we just chill out. Timeline? Vague and unimportant. Major canon conflicts? Never heard of them. It's about vibes only. We're just here to see these two boys get into a silly scenario, accept their feelings and kiss. Everyone I want to be alive and happy is alive and happy because I said so. I love this energy. This is what I like to do. I just want to make a happy little love story. Never really happens that way, but it's what that's like the energy I want. Like, yeah, I just want vibes only. Let them accept their feelings and kiss, and everyone is happy ever after. They died in canon? No, they didn't. They're there at the wedding. Holds up a martini glass to collect reader tears. I really do think that writers really enjoy when they make their readers sad. Once I wrote a story that was, you know, kind of sad. I was so surprised that someone commented and they were like, oh, I cried. I was like, really? I did not expect that what I was writing could actually have the capability to make someone cry. It was amazing. I did not want to collect them in a martini glass, but I was like, wow, I didn't know I was capable of making people actually feel emotions. This is a hot mess, but it's my hot mess, so enjoy. Yeah, that's how I feel when I'm writing things and then I publish them and I'm like, please don't look at my hot mess. Sorry it's been a while. My house exploded. Thank you all for your patience. Come hell or high water, they will write. The devil works hard, but fic writers work harder. Well, I was gonna say, if your house explodes, definitely, you know, take a break from your fanfiction writing. But, you know, if you need some escapism, that works too. You know? If you don't want to just be sobbing while the fire department hoses down your exploded house, you can just whip out your phone and start writing. Is this it? Is this the cruelest cliffhanger I've ever written? Is this the cruelest cliffhanger I'm ever going to write? No. You can always go above and beyond. Always make it worse. Hey, said my brain at 2 a.m. Want to know what would be fun? What? I asked, trying desperately to go to sleep. Subplot, my brain answered. Subplots can be so frustrating when you think of them, because you're like, yes, this is interesting, I want to do this, but then it just like, sometimes it transforms and starts trying to take over the entire story, and it's a lot to handle. Summary, things get even gayer, but also angstier. That's what I'm talking about. Someone like graph this, like as a story goes along, it always, not always, it always gets gayer and angstier. It's like the same rate. Get ready to be disappointed. Pew, pew. See, that's how I always feel when I post something, but no one ever actually seems disappointed. I think we're always so much harder on ourselves than our readers are, and, you know, that's natural. I always say, you know, we're our own worst critics. And I think it's better to not tell your audience they're gonna be disappointed and just naturally see how they react. Happy 1 year since the last part day. Yeah, there's definitely some things that I have not continued in well over a year. Yeah, sometimes, you know, that inspiration just doesn't strike. You post the first chapter, you're like, I don't know, I don't have the juice, the brain juice for the next one. And then randomly, a year later, it just hits you. You're like, oh, remember that story? I'm gonna finish it right now. And if I want to project onto the Magic Space Twink, then by God, I'm gonna project onto the Magic Space Twink, which is what 57% of this fic is, to be honest. Oh yeah, we all project onto characters. Maybe not all of us, but, you know, even if I'm writing about a character that's totally different from me, of course, naturally, just little things from my own brain, like my own little mannerisms, are gonna naturally seep into it. This was certainly a summary with words, but they were not good ones. This is how I feel about every single summary I write. I agree. Writing summaries is hard. How do you condense, like, the whole vibe of a story into just one little paragraph? I feel like I sound, like, pretentious. I feel like writing the description of the back of, like, a paperback romance novel, and it's just, like, so dramatic and flowery. And, like, that's not it's not really the vibe of the story. But, like, I don't know how to write summaries. I know I said weekly updates, but I literally got hit by a bus. Whoops. Yeah, you do not need to apologize for not having a weekly update if you got hit by a bus. You know what? I'm giving you all permission. I don't care if you said you promised to your readers I will post a new chapter every week. It's okay if you don't. This is your hobby. You're having fun. Don't turn it into like a stressful job feeling, because it will suck the fun out of it. This chapter started out as a couple of character studies I scribbled onto bits of paper towels, written mostly under the desk while I was standing around at work waiting for stuff to happen. I crammed them into my pockets whenever customers showed up and typed them up when I got home for the night. Now this thing's 21,000 words, I haven't gone to bed before 5 a.m. in days, and my coworker thinks I collect and keep paper towels. I have no regrets. That's so funny, my coworker thinks I collect paper towels. Yeah, if you got the idea, and it's so good to just get it down as fast as you can, because otherwise, you're definitely going to forget. You have an idea before bed, you're like, I gotta sleep. And, like, yes, sleep. That's more important than writing down your fanfiction story idea. Probably. If you're like, oh, I'll remember it, I'll write it down in the morning. No, you won't. You're gonna forget. So if you got a paper towel to scribble on and that's how you gotta write, do it. Reviews feed the muse, or the muse will die. I think they're, talking about leaving good comments, Sometimes, like, it's really good to write for yourself and just write what you enjoy and don't feel like you need the approval of others. But if you like something, it's really great to leave a nice comment and tell the author what exactly it is you liked about it, and that will really be motivating and helpful for them. There is no happy ending. Only death. I wish I had the guts to write a bad ending. I really wish I did. But I always think there'd be a somewhat happy ending. I've done a bittersweet ending here and there, but usually I'm like, oh, I gotta make things happy. No, one day I should just rip my own heart out, stomp on it, and say, no, you are not allowed to give a happy ending. This will be the supreme angst that you always wished you had the guts to write. I would like to apologize to the Academy, my mom, and the owners of these probably real Twitter handles I made up, as well as the poor children who went, that sign can't stop me because I can't read, at all the very clearly not for kids tags on this fic. Also, like, the whole rest of this fandom. Yeah, sometimes you feel like you gotta open a story with a bunch of apologies. I'm sorry, Mom. If you knew I wrote this, you would be very disappointed in me. You would be very disappointed in me. Yeah. Notes. Had cannoli. Yum. That's a great note. You know what? Let's stop leaving notes about the story, about our writing process, about why we haven't updated in 10 years. Let's just say, you know what? Before this, I ate some good food. Enjoy the story. I think that's a great place to leave it off. I hope this was an interesting video. And if you were just entertained by any part of this, that's actually what's good enough for me. I just want to make at least one person happy. Thank you for letting me entertain you. It's really such a delight to be able to make people happy by making these videos. And I really hope you guys all have a wonderful day. I love you all so much. If you ever need anything, message me on Twitter. Joey is here for you. And I'll see you in the next video, whatever that may be.